One of the top shot put throwers in the nation, a professional athlete sponsored by Nike who competes all over the globe, lives and trains in Fargo, North Dakota of all places. And while that might come as a surprise to you, it's just as surprising for him.
Honestly, I didn't even want to take a visit here. I didn't want to go up to North Dakota, and I came up in, it must have been February, so it was freezing and windy, and I was like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with Fargo.
It may seem even more unlikely that Payton Otterdahl is at this point considering how he got started.
I remember I first got into throwing in middle school, and the main reason was because I didn't like to run, but I still had to, my mom and dad made me go out for track, so did not like the running, but I found out that I was actually pretty decent at the throws. Honestly, I kind of lost interest in it when I was younger in high school. I remember skipping quite a lot of practices. I wanted to go hang out with my friends like any 14-year-old would. But I'd still go and compete at the meets even with no practice, and I would still be throwing, pretty far and winning these meets for my age group.
After some pep talks from his coach, Payton stopped skipping practices and his distances started to really soar. His senior year, he swept the Minnesota Class AA throwing titles, winning the shot put and discus. And when it came time to make his college choice, it was the place he wanted nothing to do with, where he ended up going.
Like every week they were breaking records here, and I wanted to be a part of that. But I'd say that the main thing that really got me here versus other schools was the team camaraderie. I came up here and all the throwers, they lived together and they trained together and they hung out together, and they were really like brothers up here.
The other throwers on campus may have felt like brothers, but he also had two actual brothers back at home keeping an eye on him too. Their goal was not only to try to stay on par with Payton, but to beat him.
When we were in middle school, Payton set like our middle school shot put record, so then naturally I really wanted it, and then I set the shot put record.
Me and Payton were never really in high school together, but he had this legacy. Trevor followed it, and I followed Trevor, and the school has the records on the boards, and just something that we want to chase.
Payton was hoping both of his brothers would also chase him to NDSU, but it took some convincing.
That was always the goal. I wanted them to come here so that I could train with them too and we could hang out. But it was hard. They had some really big offers from a lot of schools.
Middle brother Trevor earned offers from Stanford, Penn, and Princeton due to his high academics, while the youngest Max was recruited hard by Wisconsin. But in the end, brotherly love won out.
And it was a very hard decision, turning down those other schools, but ultimately I decided I wanted to go to college with my older brother, and I could do everything I wanted to academically here.
But it's funny because Payton said, he's like, yeah, you can have my high school records, but you can't have my college ones. I'm like, all right, we'll see. I take it as a challenge, and it's huge motivational for me too.
Payton's college career culminated on the national stage his senior season, setting the all-time collegiate record in the shot put at the Summit League Indoor Meet. Then at the NCAA Indoor Championships, he earned national titles in both the shot put and weight throw, becoming only the second man to ever win both.
Going up against all the Power 5 schools and beating them, that's huge coming from just a small mid-major school like NDSU way up north. No one's even heard of. Most people I know have never been to North Dakota and never want to go, so it was kind of a proud moment to be able to say that I did that.
With Payton becoming, an All-American and setting the collegiate record, and I never felt like I was at that level, but I wanted to, kind of create my own path, and I've gotten better at events that they don't do. So Payton and Max are really good at shot put and discus, and I've kind of found my specialty in hammer and weight throw, which are different events. So it's kind of cool that we each have our own niches, but yeah, it's definitely, it's competitive, but it's awesome to have that family environment.
Payton was a huge influence to throwing for us, because he showed us what it takes to be able to get to that high level. And now that we're all competing at such a high level, we're still motivating each other to even throw far. There's no cap to how far you can throw, and Payton has proved that pretty well, so there's never a lack of motivation with us.
Of course, the biggest stage in the world is still ahead. Payton has already qualified for the Olympic trials in the shot put this June, where he will face a loaded field of U.S. competitors, hoping to earn one of 3 spots on the Olympic team.
I am very thankful to have this opportunity. I'm already qualified for the Olympic trials. the U.S. in shot put is probably one of the most stacked sporting events in the world. It's insane. I would say that the U.S. trials are almost going to be harder than the Olympic final in terms of distances, because the U.S. is just that stacked.
It's been so exciting to watch his journey and getting a Nike sponsorship.
We're very confident in his abilities, and I mean, we believe in him. And we believe in all the things that he can do in this sport. So, I mean, sky's the limit with it.
The two Otterdahl brothers that are still competing at NDSU both earned first-team All-American honors this past March at the NCAA Indoor Championships, with Trevor finishing 4th in the weight throw and Max taking 8th in the shot put. Both are now focused on following that up with a strong finish to the outdoor season with the NCAA West Region meet coming up on May 26th. As for Payton, all eyes will be on him next month. The shot put will be the very first field event at the U.S. Olympic Trials on June 18th at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon.